Hi, my name is Mike Stewart, and today I'll be sharing with you a brief presentation we put together about our property management division, Long-Term Rental Group. Long-Term Rental Group has 6 core processes, and I call these the Big 6. First one we'll talk about marketing. Number 2 is tenant screening and selection. Then we'll talk about documentation, maintenance, collection and accounting of funds, and the move-out process. As you'll soon discover, the Stewart Group is a full-service real estate company. Our core division we're talking about today is Long-Term Rental Group. Long-Term Rental Group was established in 2001. Shortly after, Stewart Real Estate began as our sales division and vacation rentals. The last one you'll see in the list is Gulf Coast Business Broker. Gulf Coast Business Broker is established to help investors looking to either purchase or sell a business. You'll see at the right-hand side of our screen a few of our websites: Stewart Real Estate, which is at stewartre.com, our property management site, longtermrentalgroup.com, our corporate site, WeSellTheGulfCoast.com. Stewart Vacations is where we market our vacation rentals. Below that you'll see GulfCoastBusinessBrokers.com and GulfCoastBestAgents.com, our recruiting website. I find many investors are intrigued by our marketing approach. You'll see from the long list below that we believe heavily in getting your property marketed. We'll begin with a custom yard sign that includes an interactive 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week recording. Prospects will be able to drive by, punch in a 4-digit code, and hear a distinct message about your home. Our knowledgeable staff is also qualified to talk about your property. We video all of our homes. The video will be posted on several websites. Right now we do offer our properties to 100 plus websites. This would include Realtor.com, WKRG, one of the local news stations, Craigslist, Walmart, Hotpads.com, Military.com, several to the right that you're probably accustomed with, including Oodle, Yahoo, AOL, Zillow, Trulia, Home Finder, and House Locator. We believe marketing your house is key to getting the exposure that you need. So let's talk about tenant screening. As you'll see on the slide we're looking at now, there's 3 steps involved. 1, we do run a full credit report. This enables us to look at both the credit score and the tenant's credit history. We verify income and use formulas to verify that the income will allow the tenant to pay their rent within their means. The third piece of the pie is rental history. This allows us to understand if the tenant's been one to likely pay on time or if they haven't been timely in the past. We spend a lot of time up front on screening. I find that this part of our business is time well spent for everybody involved. It gives us a chance to hopefully get it right the first time when it comes to tenant selection. I'd like to briefly talk with you about documentation. When choosing a property manager, documentation as a process is important. We believe our documentation protects 3 parties: our company, yourself, and the tenant. And this is very important. The lease that the tenant will be signing is our custom lease. It's not one that we bought online somewhere. We update it roughly every 12 months, depending on law changes and additions to our processes. Once a tenant signs a lease, we sign it as well, and there'll be a copy available to you on your owner's portal. This is a PDF file that you can log into anytime and get a copy of as needed. All work orders are also documented electronically from the moment the call comes in until completion. Property conditions. When we first take on a property, we do a very thorough inspection. We also do a video and take several photos, not only for marketing, but to document the condition of your property. When a tenant moves out, we go through the same process again. This enables us to keep up with the changes in your property and keep your property protected. All tenant damages are also documented. This serves for a lot of purposes. 1, to hold them accountable when it comes time to disperse the funds. It also covers us if we do end up in a case that we have to go to court. At least we've done our job to document and protect everybody involved. All of these documents are available to you as an owner 24 hours a day, 7 days a week online with their owner portal. I'd like to share with you step 4. I'm very proud to say that maintenance is something that we do well. When the phone call comes in or the email, tenants can also do it online. Maintenance request is handled by our staff very timely. If you're renting a house and the air conditioning went out in July, you would expect it to be handled timely. I find that this encourages our tenants to renew with us, to pay on time, and to be content with the place that they're living. I do believe this is one of the reasons we have such a high renewal rate. That being said, 2 other pieces of our maintenance and work order process is the tracking of it. We mentioned that in the earlier discussion on documentation. And also what most owners are quite surprised about is there's zero upcharge on the maintenance. What this means is, as a company, we've decided not to celebrate when you have expenses. We've always decided this wouldn't be a part of our profit center. Number 5, collecting and dispersing funds. Many people may believe this is all a property management company does, but as you'll see, even this process is quite lengthy. Rent's due on the 1st. Tenants pay us online. They can use their Dropbox, or they can even mail it or drop it off in person. We do allow 3 days for a grace period, which means on the 5th of the month, rent's considered late. This is when we begin to post notices. Work orders are then processed, payments are processed to vendors, and invoices are electronically scanned for your owner's portal. Electronic statements are prepared and posted to the owner's portal on the 15th. Owner's funds are then dispersed to their accounts. On the 15th, they would appear in your bank account, or the checks are mailed out if you choose to not go with their free direct deposit system. This takes us into our move-out process. During the move-out process, this begins basically at the lease signing. We're already preparing for the tenant to make decisions whether they'll be moving or not. Our hope is that they decide to renew with us, and we talked about how important maintenance is to keep a tenant there and keep them happy. But 90 days before their lease is up, a red flag goes off. They get contacted via a letter. This letter communicates to them to see what they might be thinking at this stage, whether they need a house that's bigger or smaller, or whether they're looking to stay. If any early indicators, it allows us to communicate back to the owner and get a sense of what their needs are. At 60 days, our office will contact the tenant by phone, and at 30 days, the tenant is required to give us written notice on what their expectations are, if they plan on staying, or what their intent is on staying or leaving. Our move-out process is rather intense, and that's because of the liability and the timing. At the point the tenant moves out, we send our 2-person team out to perform a move-out inspection. The turnaround time is very critical because often at times we'll have another tenant lined up to move in very quickly after the past tenant moves out. We do begin marketing the property at least 30 days before this move-out happens. So it wouldn't be uncommon to have somebody that's ready to move in quickly after this move-out. This is where I've emphasized the word teamwork. We've got to get in there. We need the power to be on. We need the water to be on. We do ask owners. We've got a process to help you get that on the day the tenant's out of there. That way we can have carpet cleaners come in, maid service come in, which would be any damages such as that would be taken out of the tenant's deposit, of course. But at this point, we need to get it ready. Debris has to be removed at times. Light bulbs need to be replaced. We've got to have utilities on to verify that. Handymen are lined up to do touch-up jobs or fix door trim. Touch-up paint is needed. This inspection process is very critical to both maintain the condition of your home, distance ourselves from any liabilities that we may have with the previous tenant, and make sure the owner understands the condition of the house and anything that might need to be done to update the house. So as you'll see, the move-out process is something we take serious. As we mentioned before, it's documented along the way, and I'd be glad to talk to you in more depth about that as well. Okay, so this is again just kind of a nutshell of a summary of what we do, how we do it. I'm sure you may have a few questions. If so, feel free to contact our office. But the next steps, if you're ready to move forward, there's 4 things that we need at this point. We need to get a copy of our management agreement executed and signed. You can complete this and fax it back or email. Again, we believe in being paperless as possible and efficient. Number 2 is we do need to collect the setup fee, which you can pay online. The third is the property needs to be clean. And a lot of times this requires some dialogue with owners, but we need it to be professional quality clean. I'm not capable of cleaning a house to professional quality. Normally, personally, I would have to hire somebody. And I find that to be the case with most of our owners and most of our tenants. So we do want to raise the expectations. We want to set the bar high so when a tenant moves in, we can hold them accountable to cleanliness when they move out. We also need to make sure the power is on so we can show it. In South Baldwin County and Pensacola area, we do have hot summers, and I find that prospects are not very interested in walking around a 95-degree house. Once steps 1 through 4 are completed, we begin rolling. Literally, we'll roll videotape, we'll take photos, we'll insert a sign with a custom recorded message. Our team will inspect your property. We'll begin setting up all the information we need in our systems for electronic payment, for owner setup, and for your owner portal. We'll also begin posting on the multiple websites. We'll write a custom blog about your property, put it on our longtermrentalgroup.com, and make sure if we have any matches in our database that they're instantly emailed with the information about your home in order to try to get a quick turnaround on it. I'd like to thank you. My staff would like to thank you. We appreciate you taking the opportunity to consider us for a property management team. I do believe we have the best systems that I've seen, and I look forward to doing business with you. Thanks again.